and welcome to all of you for participating in this call. I'm P.S. Reddy, MD and CEO. With me, Mr. Satyajit Bolar is our CFO in this conference, and Mr. Praveen DG looks after the investor relations that we had. The years we had about 31,404 crores ADT kind of thing, and that's reflected in our operation income, as you can see that. Last year we had unique client code. What I'm talking about is that 4 lakh are the ones which were traded last financial year. This year we have 4,57,000 is this year we have traded. So that's a decent progress given the kind of challenges we have faced in the first quarter. You are all aware first quarter our numbers were very depressing. The situation was like that, and the trading number of full trading days were also substantially reduced because of COVID, and we have recovered from that. The number of unique clients could traded on a average clients traded on a daily basis just marginally increased on a daily basis last year. It has come down. It's about 62,000 in the month of April, has impacted for a long time, and it dragged our revenue substantially. It's only sometime in the month of December.
A trying time that we've all gone through. Mr. Reddy said we've been able to control our expenses. A lot of expenses have been controlled under traveling, advertisement. We've stopped advertising which resulted in a credit of 4.5 crores. And when we closed March for the whole financial year, because the tax calculation was done for the whole financial year, there's not only a tax under the normal tax, also we have been able to utilize a MAT credit of 8 crores. So last time I said in 1920, when we closed financials of March 19, we had a MAT credit of 20 crores. So out of that 20 crores, we have been able to utilize 8 crores. And the average rate of tax is around 18.62%, which we have been consistently saying it is around 19 to 20%. So this year also it's around 18.62%. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, open for questions, please. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The first question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from BM Capital Advisors. Please go ahead.
Are in control. How much of that is sustainable, or do you think this will increase as you go forward in FY22?
Yes.
If you look at our operating expenses, one is the employee cost. So the employee cost would remain. I mean, obviously we will have to invest on employees, so that would be this year also. We should remember that we had the negative pricing. So because of the negative pricing, we had an additional expense of almost 2 crores on legal and professional. So hopefully going forward, we would not have that expense, and we have been able to substantially save on traveling, which I assume would continue because of the COVID situation, advertisement, business promotion. So I have a feeling, once if we change the way we conduct our business, so probably these expenses would be going forward also we'll be able to contain them, reduce them. Yeah.
What is the update on the trading software? Is there an update which you can share?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have gone ahead with the TCS. You are aware of it, and we have drawn out the milestones for 3 drops, essentially 3 deliveries, which will happen, and those ones will be completed as
So does it change our cost items, cost line items and a new contract?
should be my view, but then immediately it doesn't be 3 to 5 years time. It should change the way that we are accounting for these expenses.
Because there will be certain whatever the project cost, we like to amortize it because the technology being so gets developed. I mean, it keeps changing so frequently that we'd like to keep it at a reasonable rate and amortize it over 6 to 8 years. So obviously there would be some increase in amortization cost.
Understood, sir. As in FY22, which are the products you think will be introduced and which are the growth drivers you're looking forward to? That's my last question. Thank you.
Yeah, but our main flagship contracts will continue to do well, and we are trying to deepen those products lines also. There's no doubt about it. And we will be launching few more products, especially our contract Bulldex and Metaldex just last year, sometime in August, we launched, in October, we launched Metaldex. Now, they have seen good traction. They're doing well. And from 1st April onwards, we started charging also on the transaction fees. And we expect these products to do well in the current financial year. And this is one important thing. And we will also be introducing some more products subject to regulatory approval. One is the aluminum alloy, and then another one is the steel rebars. And let us see. Once we get the necessary approvals, then we will be able to launch before the September this year. These are the lines of business that we are looking at it.
Understood, sir. Thank you, sir. Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I request all the participants, please restrict to 2 questions per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Anshuman Ved from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, sir. So if you could tell us the impact of this increase in upfront margin norms, if any, in the MCX volume, because we have not seen similar impact in the equity markets in a big way. That is one question. And second is the spot gold exchange that is being talked about, and there is a consultation paper also which has been initiated. So MCX, what can be the opportunity for MCX, and if there is somebody else who operates that spot exchange, what will be the impact on our future volumes? These are the 2 questions.
Sure. On the peak margin, yes, it did have impact in the month of March when it went up to 50%. Our ADT, you must be knowing, about 26,000 crores. And in the month of April, we have seen about 25,000 crores. But then May is seeing definitely a better growth. Yes, other things being equal, the peak margin did impact our volumes. Okay, no doubt about it. And we did represent to SEBI, looking at the commodities markets are in a nascent stage. They should consider the development of this market and the impact that it's causing on the liquidity and the introduction of so many regulatory changes. Market also takes time to adjust to that. That is another way of looking at things. So, but the peak margin effect has not fully come because only 50% is implemented. Another 25% will become operative if there is no change in the SEBI regulations from 1st of July and 1st of June, and then again another 25% from 1st of September. So as it unfolds, we have to discover this impact of it. That's the way I am looking at it. But we are trying to reach out to a lot of hedgers and other participants in the market to deepen it and also bring in the necessary liquidity. We have also requested SEBI to look at a relaxation for the FI participation in the exchange traded contracts. That's one area which we are looking at it. Unlike currency market, you have maybe up to some 100 million or so. They are not required to have any exposure to currency. They are allowed to trade. So a similar request has been made. We should allow FIs up to some point without there being any exposure in the underlying commodity should be allowed to participate. That is true for EFEs also, eligible foreign entities, EFEs. So regulatory changes, what will happen, I do not know, but then let us respect that. That is one part of it. Then comes to the spot gold exchange. The way that it has been constructed is that the spot exchange may operate within at the same time. These gold spot exchange transactions will happen via a depository research. In the sense, the gold will be deposited in the vault, against which an electronic receipt will be created. Those receipts will be traded in the securities market on the exchanges as if they are deliverable contracts. Of course they are, but then physical delivery will not take place on the exchange platform. Will it have any impact? My answer is it will only help us to grow, increase our impact. Yes, technology is an issue. That is where we are trying to work out how soon we can have that technology put in place. Especially when we are changing over our vendor for these services, we will be able to launch once our platform to deal with this is ready. Thank you.
Right. So one continuation on that part is that, so what you mean to say is that if we have a separate spot exchange, let's say it is jointly run by the exchanges or some other exchange running it, it normally should not have an impact on our future volumes that we have.
Absolutely. That is our understanding.
Okay. And one more thing, sir, regarding the variable cost that you mentioned some time back in the last question. You said it will drastically go down the software cost. So in that sense, the EBITDA would have a uplift, and the PAT maybe. I'm saying that EBITDA wise it will go up, right? That is what you meant to say.
That's what we expect.
Yeah, that's right. Once a new system is put into place, that is our clear understanding. Yes.
Right. And sir, in the just last question, in the spot software thing, can't TCS do the same thing, or we need to float a fresh tender or fresh somebody?
I'm sorry?
For the spot software, the spot for gold spot, if you were to apply to SEBI to do a spot thing, because we are one of the right, we have the right to win also over there. So over there, can't TCS do the same thing?
Yeah, TCS also has a platform. In fact, as a part of our contract, the existing platform, because this is a futures platform that will be a spot platform, means on a T+2 basis the deliveries will happen. Okay. And the settlement process will be differently. Our focus and attention is the CDP main platform. And we do not want to disturb that. That's come what may, we would like to do a good job out there.
Right, sir. Right. And sir, in terms of spot management of spot exchanges, are we better placed than our peers in terms of spot commodities?
See, it is too speculative to say that. I would not like that, but then we already have a connect to the physical.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ravi Naredi from Naredi Investments. Please go ahead.
Sir, what is crore now? It is 407 crore.
As part of our clearing operations, we get a lot of margins. So those margins are collected in the form of collaterals as well as in cash. So during this financial year, as compared to March 20, there's been a reduction in the cash margins of around 350 to 400 crore. But earlier, out of the total margin, we used to get around 93% in collateral. Now it is around 88% in collateral. So that is the basic difference in March 21 and March.
Market again, but MCX platform?
I'm not able to understand because we were never in currency in that sense as MCX.
MCX were doing currency before, I think you acquired. I think in old regime.
The MCX FX, that is a different company altogether.
Yeah. So, any plan
we
to
have no
start
relationship. We have no relationship.
No. Yeah, it is okay. But
it is the backbone of this business. So let's have a hold on that. Then we will do that. Whatever plans we can think of.
You have TCS with you. Then what?
Take that first step. We need to do that. So once we deploy it in live here, then we will think of all those plans. We can.
Anything in your mind or board's mind to start or nothing yet?
As of now, there's nothing on our drawing table.
Okay. Thank you very much. All the best, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from line of Susmit Patodia from Motilal Oswal Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Contract, and you will only pay them some maintenance or support charges every year, correct?
Yeah. You see, the way it is about 1 + 5 years, and we will pay as long as you continue to pay the AMC. Then it's a perpetual like that numbers in terms of.
Okay. Okay, got it. And my second question is, if you can just tell us, as the margin requirement increases, it also adds to your own cash balance, which you can gain other income from, correct?
No. Margins can be paid even using the bank guarantees, etc. So not necessarily in the form of cash.
Okay. So what percentage of the margins in the new regime is coming from non-interest earning assets?
That's what he said. Last year it was 88% was in non-interest earning assets. Now it is 95% is in non-100 crores approximately. So the margin amounts remain the same, but the composition altered.
Right. And sir, my last question is, can you give us an update on what about the banking channel? That has been much lower than one would have imagined.
We get to know that one is that put it this way, there are 3 parts to it. Like one is a speculate. Here the challenge is of the GST for many of them. Even if somebody wants to take a delivery and then keep it, and then as a financial player, if they are earning good amount of interest, vyaj badla, then they would like to participate. But then they need to have a GST registration the moment it takes delivery. And even for those who have already have a registration, there are issues which are related to GST, because we are trying to resolve, and we approach the government to make all transactions on the exchange as IGST transactions, unless both buyer and seller are in the same state. So, but then that addresses only those ones who have GST registration. But a lot of others do not have, but still desire to do this and trade. But we have another alternative which we are proposing now. We thought through, and we discussed with tax consultant and took their approval also on the draft note. As we are collecting STT, CTT, or stamp duty, etc., maybe whether the clearing corporation can transpose itself in this place, and then see whether we can do something there, subject to government's approval, of course. So we are looking at, we are toying with various ideas. And PMS participation is also to that extent got restricted, because again the same reason, if the PMS has to hold bank broking houses, probably greater participation will come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laburnum Capital. So my question is around two questions. One is on the technology side again. So if I understand you can't disclose the upfront amount, but could you give a sense of and the annual what you call running cost, right? If I understand correctly, is around 50 crores per year on your software charges. What could be the savings there on an annual basis once the new software is the new platform is implemented?
Substantially lower.
But you can't put some figure around it. Maybe from 50 it will come down to what, 30?
No, even much
around. So if I look at your value participation data that you share on the exchange, the participation by hedgers is very small. So what steps are you taking to deepen this end of the market? And why aren't large corporates, say, hedging on your exchange versus international exchange?
Tell you why. One is that the credit lines that are available, the brokers arrange for it in international market, tripartite kind of agreements are not permitted, where broker will also ensure that the client doesn't default for the securities, the money that he has taken. Second part of it, which is equally important, is here you have to, on a day-to-day basis, you have to do the rate maybe as your inventory requirements are called for it. You will keep juggling that fit using that kind of a credit line, that the M2Ms. Maybe the company may be giving just one collateral. That's all. Them want to have a dollar-denominated contracts, and ours is a rupee denominated. We do explain that even the currency risk is also taken care of it because we have a rupee denominated contract. But their point of view, you should leave it to the choice of the investor whether they want to have it in the dollar or dollar denominated hedging, or they want to do it another leg of currency risk mitigation, or they may not do it for at all. The currency risk, they may not see any problem out there. So the bigger organizations are going for that. Third, which is equally important, is the foreign contracts do not have as much liquidity as we expected. Obviously, liquidity cannot be participants to trade, expected participant to trade. Here, I would like to highlight, government has banned RBI. I'm not, although it is my ask or it is my desire, we are not saying that such a restrictive practice be adopted, but it will increase on the exchange platform. But one important thing which also you need to bear in mind is some of the bigger players, okay, who have LME registered, for example, okay, which are lying on that, and MCX price is good, they simply sell the contract and then deliver the metal, and it happened many times. So it's not that they are not doing it; they are doing it very selectively, I would say, and there should be an opportunity for them to do it. That's the way they are doing it. But yes, hedging, they have not used it in the way that I desire and I hope. And we have been engaging with them all along. And I would say, one reason or the other, in whichever way you call it, one reason or the other, they are not doing it, bigger players. That we have made a representation to FIIs who can become a financial players, increase the depth in the market. And similarly, EFEs without exposure. Today, London or CME, wherever the players are playing, they don't have, the players do not have exposure in London or in Britain or in US. They have in some other countries, still they are permitted to hedge in those markets. Similarly, Indian government regulators also, we desire them to permit these EFEs and others. Without exposure also, they should be able to participate. Then
thanks for the time. One question which I had was our options market.
May I request you to speak over the handset, please?
Yeah. Is this better?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Our options market share in bullion has actually gone down, and we see that BSE has been doing well. Any reason why?
In fact, yes. You see the options turnover on the exchange platform on MCX and the open interest that is with the exchange versus the turnover of whatever it is you are talking about, and the open interest. Without open interest, creating any what you call open interest, even with whatever turnover that we have it. And there you can count on kgs, okay, 20 kgs, 30 kgs, even less than that. So 3,000 crores is the turnover, namesake, but the open interest is 20 kgs, 30 kgs. Ours is maybe 400 crores turnover, but you have an open interest of 4 tons, 5 tons. So it makes a great difference.
Fair enough, sir. I was just double checking that. Secondly, in general, the auction business hasn't taken off as much as one would have anticipated, especially equity options do so well in India. With the recent regulatory changes in terms of...
by and large, these are, you're right, these are retail products, and some of our contracts, especially for gold, for example, 1 kilo gold, and what is the value of it and the premium of it itself is substantially high. And the tenure is also long because it's a 2-month contract. So as such, the premium paid is substantially high. We expect these option contracts to be more of a retail products than for any hedgers or big corporates or anybody who are in this business. So we need to bring down the cost of the premium cost, and unless we reduce the contract size, it will not happen. And that's why we are introducing other products, and then we would like to launch maybe again it depends on some of the technological changes that are happening. On 100 gram gold that we have contract, if option is launched, option on futures we would like to launch, not on option on goods, and probably it may find some traction.
And last bit is, I see that...
Sorry, Karthik, I'll request you to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. I request to all the participants, please.
So, sir, shifting more towards options in that case?
We did find, of course, we did find some kind of traction in options due to the peak margin being imposed. But I can't, say anything at this point in time. If the peak margins are increased to its fullest extent, what happens to the turnover and the client base? My view is people do get adjusted, and I think they got adjusted because already it is 50%, and we don't fear any kind of decline, or put it that way, any steep decline in business. But at the same time, we are trying to see how we can mitigate the margin pressure on the member brokers. In fact, we have also given a suggestion where the intraday contracts may attract a lower margin. The day and open interest positions may attract a higher margin, all because the overnight risk when the markets are closed and then other markets are open. Let us see some of these proposals will, if they find a favorable response, I'm sure we will. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Devesh Agarwal from ISL Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Firstly, harping on this new margin rules. So, or the algo trade saw a sharper decline. So, some idea on that account. And when it has come back in May, what has actually driven? Which segment of investors have driven back this?
No, obviously it will be more on the retailers rather than the algo players or proprietary traders. Okay, and but then as you see the numbers, in the month of May is 31,000. Yes, April is bad to 25,000. And other things being equal, they will impact the peak margin. But if other things also play on the favorable side to offset the peak margin impact, then we don't need to worry about this aspect at all.
Okay. And sir, on the new software, you said implementation is likely by July. I missed. Is it yes talking about 21 or 22?
22. Our contract is there till 22 September.
Okay. So from July 22 onwards, you will be migrate to the new software.
Yeah, that's what our plan.
Understood, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Arun Kumar, may I request you to unmute your line from your side and go ahead with your question? Arun Kumar, we are unable to hear you. May I request you to unmute your line from your side and go ahead with your question? Due to no response, we move on to the next participant. Next question is from the line of Neetajali, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
I have two questions. Where are we on electricity futures, and what other products are we planning in the coming days? And second one, what response or what traction are you seeing from bank subsidiaries eligible for commodity trading? Thank you.
Yes. On the electricity futures, we have already submitted the proposal to SEBI. And as I said, still the matter is in the Supreme Court. Unless the Supreme Court passes an order, the consent order that has been filed, I don't think we will be able to launch the contract because we don't have any approval as yet. Now, meanwhile, whatever is the background work that needs to be done, we have already done that. We are also engaged with market participants, engaging them to understand the contract specifications and how they can benefit from this contract. Also, we have also conducted a lot of webinars with international players also, and it has received a good response. So this is the way that electricity futures contract has it got doubled, some of them. And as I said that even today I learned that ICICI Securities has launched a mobile app, and some more are going to do that. And but am I satisfied? My answer is no. Let's be very candid about this.
In this financial year?
Any?
New products we are launching this financial year?
Yeah, I probably you must have joined late, but then I have said that we are also planning to launch aluminum alloy contract, planning to launch about steel long bars, again subject to regulatory approvals.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. A request to all the participants, please restrict to one question so the management can answer all the participants' questions. The next question is from the line of Amit Chandra from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Amit Chandra from HDFC Securities. So, sir, thanks for the opportunity. Sir, 46% last year. So it has been coming down. So, is the increase in margins the reason for that, or if you see any other reason to it, it is even now less than 1%. So when we will see traction in this segment, and also you mentioned that you started.
Current year it is 41%. Okay, algo players. So that is the way it is. So peak margin is not adversely affected. In the sense, the algo players are there, and maybe some of the retail players have gone out, and that is the way this has impacted. That's why their percentage also gone up. That's the way I read. And the third question is
on the index contracts volume not picking up and the institutional participation.
No, index contract did pick up. In fact, as I speak, this month so far we have about 400 crores ADT, And you can ask, are you satisfied? The answer is no. Okay. As I said, we are expecting what you call a cross margin benefit between this particular contract and the underlying assets. Okay. If you have if you have a contra positions in both the contracts, underlying contracts as well as in the index features, you should get the benefit. That's one part of it. Second, we have already reached, in some cases, some instances are there where the individual contract size has a lot. I mean, the position limits are already touched. So we have appealed to SEBI to relax those individual contract position limits. So if position limits are relaxed, obviously some more positions these clients will be able to take. It's like that. So.
Okay. And on the institutional participation, sir?
Yeah, on the mutual funds, I think as I said the last time, I think was 3-4 of them are there, and at this point in them only 4. We are also pitching for silver ETF to be permitted in the industry. A detailed presentation recently organized a week ago or so, where the EFEs, FIs, PMS, NRIs, they almost about 60 people have gathered around the table, and SEBI officials were present, and they presented what are the issues. I'm sure SEBI is going to consider it favorably in the light of development that they are. They wanted the market to grow substantially. I'm sure they will look at the same development path as they did in the case of equities.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ravi Purohit from SIMPL. Please go ahead.
For index contracts or option contracts from this contract?
Index future contract. Index futures.
Index future contract. The options are still not chargeable.
No. Options we charge only on the premium. What is 1,000 crores is this one premium would be hardly any.
Made mandatory, but now when you trade on indices, there is no delivery. There is no concept of delivery. So there was a lot of speculative interest, so to speak. Have you seen any shift in that category?
See, index
becomes a interesting instrument to kind of
That is the selling point of this contract.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajesh Chaudhary from Zenith. Please go ahead.
Then, we are not getting any volume over there, very negligible volume in it compared to our competitor. So end of the day, even turnover will matter over there, right? Because of the liquidity, we'll see shift in clients. So have we been seeing that?
See, I think more than anybody else, we track on a daily basis, and why daily, on hourly basis. And you should see maybe on any trading day,